Assalamualaikum. My name is Hafiza bin Zainabidin. My student ID number is 7602050854500001 from PJ Learning Center, and today I would like to share with you and to present to you the new product development subject which I choose for topic of design for environment. Okay, Nike is an American multinational corporation since 1964, and it known as the Blue Ribbon Sports by Bill Bowman. Nike opened their first retail outlet in the year of 1966, and they launched the Nike brand shoes in 1972. As at 2012, Nike has employed more than 44,000 people nationwide, and as at 2014, the brand itself was valued at $19 billion, which making it as the most valuable brand among sports businesses. Nike chose their product design based on design for environment, which is why do they choose design for environment as the product development basis. This is because of DFE techniques will meet cost and performance objective while it reducing pollutions and waste through the life cycle. There are two broad categories used in DFE, such as technique that are used to identify the environment impact of a product throughout the life cycle, which is known as the life cycle assessment. The second category is techniques that helps designers to improve the environmental performance of their products. The most common DFE practices are recycle, design, disassembly, minimization, hazardous materials, and more. And this is what Nike is currently practicing to produce in each of their products. Started with Nike Air, and Nike keep improving their product quality by using the scrap materials. Well, what is scrap materials? Scrap materials is which is consists of leftover product from manufacturing and consumptions. Having said, Nike have also launched their latest product in the month of February 5th this year, known as Space Hippie. Well, aligned with Nike vision and missions, which is to remain the most authentic, connected, and distinctive brand, where to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. Therefore, Space Hippie is invented with new design of footwear made with lowest carbon footprint. Okay, the Space Hippie silhouettes are from material choices of method of make to packaging was chosen with consideration of environment impact. And the design, let me go through with you. Okay, the design of the product, basically the Space Hippie, the silhouettes are from material choices from method like space junk. Why they are using space junk, and what space junk means to them? Space junk means which is made of yarn, soles, and basketball cord, plastic bottles, manufacturing scraps, and more, which all these junks been processed at Nike Grind, where it representative of Nike 30 years commitment to holistic sustainability. Um, the Space Hippies shoes have the lowest carbon footprint, which I have mentioned earlier. The concept of lowest carbon footprint score of any footwear products created by Nike, which is that they are claiming for of their product to the public. The products, which includes a recycled zone form, cushion, space waste yarn, and creator form, made from a mixture of grind rubber and blended forms. Okay, as you can see here, these are the three steps or three product designed by them for the Space Hippie shoes. There are 4 models under the Space Hippie shoes, which is they have the Space Hippies 1, Space Hippie 2, Space Hippie 3, and Space Hippie 4. Basically, for Space Hippie 1, meant for men, and 2 is meant more on a woman, and third one was for leisure wear. So the basis of for engineer of these shoes, the model itself needs from the Space Hippie upper crater using what they call it space waste yarn. These space yarn are made of 100% recycled material, which is included recycled plastic, water bottles, t-shirts, and yarn scraps. All these combined with other elements of the Space Hippie 2, we get an upper, they get an upper 90% recycled content by weight. Okay, for the inner sole, I would say, the form itself, the cushion, basically hippies are using factory scrap from production of Vaporfly at 40%, and reprocess that Zoom X foam in a way that uses about half the CO2e as a typical Nike foam, meaning that it lighter, thinner, and it probably maybe give the confidence to the users itself. Okay, as for the outer, meaning the shoes itself, they are using a tool of all the tools like created by Creator Foam. The made with a blend of a standard foam and its 15% Nike grind rubber. The reduction in virgin materials give a lower carbon footprint, and the Nike granules create a really unique texture and color mix on every midsoles. So the midsoles, the product itself, if you look at this, these are the midsole itself, which is from the Nike grind, and using all these granules, and these are from the yarn, the space junk. So you can see the material is a bit rough here, and it doesn't it look comfortable to wear, or you think it's like discoloration will happen in the long term or short terms. So these are the technology by using based on what you call it, the design for environment. So I can foresee that there are few improvement can be done at Space Hippie shoes itself, whereby these shoes, maybe they can, create the outer layer, the material itself, instead of like a rough surface, it can give a discomfort to the users to wearing it, probably maybe without socks. And some could be allergic to the products, so they have to look into more details, whether in terms of clinically tested, or maybe they can also think of, because of these are the junks from factory itself, so probably certain materials, is it hygiene enough to wear, is it safe to be wear without socks or long term, if let's say somebody have a sweat feet, are these shoes it's safe to use, and what are the chemical being used to reproduce all these materials in order to recycle them and to transform them into this yarn for this Space Hippie shoes. So maybe Nike to look more details in term of material they are using, in term of discoloration, in term of chemical that they are used. And the other improvement that they might be looking at, which is the rubber, which is I mentioned to you earlier, that instead of 15% they are using, could be 20%, whereby the 20% of rubber can be comfy and protect your feet from any injuries, should the customer wearing it, using it for a long term. Long term meanings that when they are using for running or walking, they can wear it at a long period and hours. It won't injure their feet, because of some of certain shoes, sport shoes, when you are wearing at a longer period, you are tend to get cramp, you are tend to get sore feet. So if this shoes is created to be the most lighter shoes for athletes, but have to look into a consideration of the protection of the feet, for those are not athletes, for those are using this for a leisure purposes. So they have to look this into a bigger picture, to have like a focus group, for instance, to know all this category of consumer, whether accept this kind of material, be able to accept this kind of technology to design for them and for them to wear in the longer period, to protect their feet, because of sport shoes meant to be comfortable. Sport shoes are meant to be for protect of your feet whenever you use to go for running, to do for all sorts of sports activity. So it has to be take into this consideration, whereby protecting of feet is more important rather than the design itself, the technology itself, to create more hype that, hey, look, this is a new technology, the creation of it lights. But then, is it lighter shoes? It's safe. Lighter shoes, it's comfortable. Well, to me, it depends on the usage, but I guess thinner rubber, it might be creates discomfort to be wear for a longer period or longer hours. Okay, next improvement probably maybe the inner foam, the cushion that we are talking about, whereby yes, they are using like fly knits, but then if it's too thin, how long it can be last versus the lifespan of the shoes. It means that am I going to using for 1 month or 2 months, then I have to buy the additional or new foam or the cushion itself to replace the earlier the initial cushions. So a thinner, is it practical? A thinner foam, is it convenience, save money, and is it thinner will be like the turnover or usage, it can be increased and causing more to the customer, or customer doesn't feel like this shoes is expensive because of I have to buy the cushion additional. And why not Nike take look into this consideration? The needs of the cushion should be thicker, and the needs of the cushions need to be thicker because of to protect the heel of certain people. For instance, like those having a knee problem, for those having a spur, whereby if they walk too much or they are running, at least the foam itself can protect their heels from injury. So probably maybe the inner foam or cushion can be designed to protect the feet itself, to protect the heel itself, to those who are also active in sports but do not want to be injured while wearing these shoes. And last but not least, for the improvement, maybe Nike should look into different kind of recycle material, or maybe should look into like a different perspective, because of most of the Nike's competitors, for example like Reebok, they have used ways to create the fabric itself, to be able to make the fabric look safe, because it's coming from the plant instead of the factory waste. So maybe Nike should look into that. And on top of that, maybe Nike should look into a product that using a biodegradable, for instance, whereby how frequent that that people go and send for a recycle company to recycle their shoes. Maybe less, and maybe also the biodegradable won't be harming the environment, whereby it can be diluted in a certain process, which is the consumer does not need to send their shoes to a factory to dispose it. It can be done at the user level. This creates an activity and excitement to the user that, hey, look, I can dispose my own sport shoes, which is I didn't use anymore, it has been tarnished or something, that creates an activity and engagement with the product that I am part of this environment safety protections. And lastly, as a conclusions, um, it's good initiative done by Nike, whereby they are keeping themselves and alert to the surrounding area, whereby to translate a waste product into another product which can be used, which is not many company can be done that. Although the company do that, but yes, I won't deny that most of the recycled material are more expensive from the initial raw products or product that been tends to be junk. So maybe in terms of pricing, Nike to encourage people to do a recycle in future to protect the environment. The price wise should be cheaper, lower, so that everybody can afford to have it, wearing it, and to support Nike campaign to save the environment, and they be able to buy more from Nike instead of a pair of shoes cost us about like 500 600 ringgit, or even 700 or 1000 more. So if you invest that kind of money, and certain parts of the shoes have a lifespan, it can get how to say, spoiled faster and earlier. I don't think so people will go again and buy again the product that recycled by Nike. So last but not least, instead of turning like Space Hippie into a very niche product, whereby all the members or the SNN KRS, the sneakers members or the Nike members only be able to buy, maybe it can be go broader market, affordable price, and at least a sustainable product which is doesn't cost much or lifespan are not shorter, maybe slightly longer, but to incorporate those activity to make sure that the consumer are also taking part in this campaign to save the environment by having a material, a biodegradable that can be dilute or disposed at consumer level. So Nike can get the feedback of this product that they produce for their good and future product enhancement. Thank you so much for, and that is my today presentation on the new product. Assalamualaikum.